How to build responsive Angular dashboards with Wijmo Part 1, Install and Setup. Dashboards have become essential to modern business operations, providing critical information at a glance. The key to a quality dashboard is simplifying the data so that anyone, from managers to executives, can quickly gain insight and take action. That's where Wijmo's Angular UI component library comes in. It provides everything necessary to create a sleek, responsive dashboard, all in one library. In this video series, we'll show you how to utilize Wijmo's Angular UI components to build a dashboard that displays where your site visitors are coming from and additional session-related information. By the end, you'll see how simple it is to create powerful, flexible, and user-friendly dashboards. To start, install the Wijmo library by running the npm install at meshius/wijmo.all command. Now we can use the Wijmo library in this Angular application. Next, navigate to the app.module.ts file where we can import all the modules we'll utilize from Wijmo. For this dashboard, we will use the following Wijmo controls: FlexGrid, FlexChart, FlexMap, Gauges, Input Controls. We'll need to import specific modules for each of these controls, in addition to Wijmo's core module, which is required by all Wijmo controls. Once we add import statements for each of these modules, we'll need to include them in the module's imports array. With that complete, we can now utilize any of these Wijmo controls in our application. Next, we'll need to import the required CSS for Wijmo. We will navigate to the styles.css file where we'll add Wijmo's CSS import. In this case, we will use one of Wijmo's built-in themes, the material theme, instead of Wijmo's base CSS. You'll also notice that we have imports for two other CSS files, Bootstrap icons and Bootstrap. If imported, Wijmo can use Bootstrap's CSS file. We'll also use Bootstrap icons to create tooltips for each of our dashboard's panels. Lastly, we will add basic styling to the application's body tag. We'll set the margins to 0 and define the page's background color using HSL. If you're not familiar with HSL, it's simply another method to define colors using hue, saturation, and lightness. Please note that we are only slightly offsetting the color enough so that the dashboard sections will contrast against the page background. With all our necessities imported, we can set up the base of our dashboard. In the app.component.html file, we will add a few elements in Markup. Each of these divs will serve as a different section of our dashboard, and the main element will serve as the container and grid of this dashboard. In total, our dashboard will include 8 different sections. Load Info, which will display panels with basic information on user load statistics. Map, which will show a breakdown of visitors by country using GeoJSON data. User Info, which will display basic information of each user who visited the site, including the platform and browser used. Sessions, which will show new and returning users, session duration, and pages visited. Issue Info, which will display any issues that users encounter, as well as each issue's severity. Top Countries, which will display a list of countries that provide the most traffic to the site. Top Platforms, which will show a breakdown of the different platforms used to access the site, such as desktop, tablet, and mobile. Browsers, which will show a breakdown of the different browsers used to access the site, such as Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. With our markup complete, we will navigate to the app.component.css file to add the required CSS to generate our dashboard from the divs we added. we will create a class, LiveMapGrid, to define the dashboard layout. Here, we'll use a grid display and define 8 total template areas. This grid is set up to display everything in a single vertical column, but since this is a dashboard, we want the display to be dynamic based on the user's device size. We'll address this shortly when we set up some media tags to check for screen size, but we'll leave this as is for now. With the grid set up, now we need to define some basic styles for each section of the dashboard. Using the classes we created in Markup, we'll assign each of them a height, box shadows with colors defined using HSL, and then a width. Next, we'll give each grid element a grid area that can be used to place each grid on the page. Since there are 8 child elements, we must create 8 instances of using the nth child to assign them their respective values. Lastly, we need to define some different media values so that our grid can dynamically adjust based on the user's screen size. For this dashboard, we will set 2 media min-width values, 800 pixels and 1200 pixels. This means that we'll have 3 different layouts for our grid. The straight column, which will be used if the width of the screen is less than 800 pixels, one for if the screen size is between 800 and 1200 pixels, and finally, one for if the screen size is over 1200 pixels. Then, all we need to do is define the layout that we want the grid to use in each of the media sizes. With all our styling now set up, we can launch the application to see what the skeleton of this dashboard looks like. When the application loads in browser, you can see that all the areas that we've defined in the grid are laid out in our 1200 pixel and over layout. This is the end of the first part of this series. We've installed the Wijmo library, created some markup, and used CSS to generate a responsive grid. In the next video, we'll add some Wijmo controls, including gauges, charts, and tooltips to display data. To learn more, visit developer.meshius.com/Wijmo.